Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Friday, July 14th, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link to our Patreon in the description and comments section below. A seventh-inning rally spurred by a Patrick Bailey single and aided by fielding errors by Pittsburgh allowed the Giants to reclaim the lead and ultimately pull away. Bailey's hit was good for a single, but ultimately drove in 2 runners. The Giants finished with 10 hits on the night, with 3 players logging multiple at the plate. Ross Stripling got the start and he struck out 6 while allowing 2 runs over 4.2 innings thrown. RHP Alex Cobb is slated to get the start for Game 2. He is currently holding a 6-2 record with a 2.91 ERA. On the road, Cobb has been a bit more erratic as his ERA has ticked up to 4.50, which is the highest of all his throwing splits. However, during night games, he's thrown very well and has given up just 2 homers over 53 innings. Cobb has stayed hot recently as he's given up just 2 runs over his last 11 innings and has struck out 10 without walking any over that span. Last time out against the Pirates, Cobb was beaten up a little as he gave up 2 bombs over 4 innings and only struck out 2. He looked to lean on strong recent performance to extend his wins to 7 on the season. After snagging a win right before the All-Star break, the victory was short-lived as the Pirates fell in their series opener at home to the Giants. Pittsburgh managed 8 hits and tallied 4 runs over the 5th and 6th inning, but were unable to get much going otherwise. Ji-Man Choi logged 2 RBIs and hit the lone homer on the contest. Rich Hill got the start and over 7 innings gave up 3 runs and struck out 2. RHP Johan Oviedo is set to take the hump for his 10-home start of the season. The 25-year-old holds a 3-10 record on the season to go with a 4.75 ERA. At home, Oviedo holds the same ERA, but is holding opponents to his best opponent batting average at .249. During night games his ERA drops a hair, but he's given up 7 total home runs, which is also more than any other throwing split. In his 2 starts in July, Oviedo has been hit a good bit as he's holding a 10.03 ERA and has allowed 13 runs over 11.2 innings. This comes with opposition hitting .306 as a collective. He threw well earlier this season against the Giants, where he finished with a 2.08 ERA and struck out 5 batters over 4.1 innings hurled. Look for Oviedo to build off prior success in hopes to overcome his recent throwing woes. Alex Cobb has been pitching well this season and he has been especially sharp in his last 2 starts. He will face a Pittsburgh Pirates offense that is not very good and he should be able to take advantage of that. Cobb has also been very good at night and he has only allowed 2 home runs all season. On the other hand, Pittsburgh starter Roansy Contreras has struggled this season. He has allowed 13 runs in his last 11 innings and he has not been able to keep the Giants' offense in check. The Giants have one of the top 10 scoring offenses in baseball and they should be able to score runs against Contreras. I believe that the Giants will win this game. They have the better starting pitcher and they have a better offense. Take the Giants on the money line. As highlighted, Cobb has not been easy to hit during night games and, to his credit, Oviedo has thrown his best under the lights as well. While each offense has found success during night games, neither has a batting average that sits in the top half of the league. Along with that, the Pirates are hitting just .206 in the month of July. The Giants have been able to go yard, which has generated many runs. But their near bottom rank strikeout rate poses a risk when the bombs are flying. Further, the Giants' batting average has sunk to .223 in the month of July. Look for this total to stay under 8.5 runs. San Diego Padres vs Philadelphia Phillies. A pair of National League teams chasing wild card position battle as their series continues in the city of brotherly love. The San Diego Padres are on the road as they play the 2nd game of a doubleheader and their 3rd game of a 4-game set with the Philadelphia Phillies Saturday night. San Diego took 2 of 3 at home from the Mets last weekend, winning the rubber game 6-2 Sunday afternoon. Philadelphia dropped 2 of 3 on the road to the Marlins last weekend, falling 7-3 in the rubber game of that set Sunday afternoon. This article was published prior to the conclusion of both the opening game of the series Friday night and the opening game of the doubleheader Saturday afternoon at Citizens Bank Park. The highly touted Padres finally showed a little life down the stretch of the first half, going 6-2 over their final 8 games before the All-Star break. That, however, came after a 6-game losing streak and that's been the story of their season so far. When they hit, they win, period. Over their last 8 games, including the losses, they averaged 6.5 runs per game. In their 6-game losing streak, they averaged just 2.8 runs per game. On the season they are averaging 4.5 runs per game through 90 games. Fernando Tatis Jr. leads the team with 52 runs scored in just 70 games. He also leads the team with a .288 batting average and 16 home runs. Going into Friday, Tatis had hit safely in 8 of his last 9 games, with 8 RBIs and 9 runs. Heading into Friday, the Phillies were 12.5 games behind first place Atlanta and 3.5 games behind second place Miami in the East. Their first half finished with a 7-3 record over their final 10 games, though they scored exactly 3 runs in 5 of them. Through 89 games they had averaged 4.5 runs of offense per game and 8.9 hits. They've struck out 811 times as a team, the 10th most overall, and their 99 home runs were the 11th fewest in the game. Nick Castellanos leads the team in memes and hits with 104, and his .301 batting average is 5th best in the NL. The All-Star was hitting just .235 over his first 8 games in July, though 3 of his 8 hits were home runs. Suarez has had success against the Padres in the past, both in the regular season and in the playoffs. The Padres do not yet know who their starting pitcher will be, and this could be a disadvantage for them. The Phillies are playing well at home, and they should be able to take advantage of the Padres' uncertainty. I believe that the Phillies will win this game. Take the Phillies on the money line. Despite how well Suarez may have done in the past against the Padres, he won't be able to entirely shut down their hot bats. Regardless, this is a high total for these two teams, who have had a combined 96 of their games go under the total this season. The Phillies don't even know who to gamble for yet as far as a starting pitcher goes, and if it happens to be a bullpen game for the Padres, that could easily throw off their timing at the plate. Per Covers.com, the under has hit in 34 of the Padres' last 60 games and in 39 of the Phillies' last 72 games. Take the under 9.5 runs. Cleveland Guardians vs Texas Rangers. Cleveland is currently 45-45, but that is still good for first in the AL Central, which has been a rough division. The Guardians enter the series against the Rangers, slashing .250, .314, .375, which ranks 15th, 22nd, and 27th in the majors, while on the road are slashing .249, .310, .367, and against left-handers slash .236, .303, .376. Against Andrew Heaney, Gallagher is 1-1, Ramirez is 3-4, Naylor is 2-4, Rosario bats .400 and 5 abs, Straw bats .333 and 6 abs, while Bell is 0-5. Texas is currently just 2 games up on Houston in what should be a great race to the finish line to see who wins the AL West. The Rangers are set to start left-hander Andrew Heaney, who's 5-6 with a 4.71 ERA, while in his last start, he was shelled by the Washington Nationals, as he went 3 innings allowing 8 runs, 7 earned on 8 hits. In his last 5 starts, he's 1-2 with a 6.26 ERA, while at home is 3-3 with a 5.29 ERA. The Texas Rangers have one of the best defenses in baseball, and they should be able to hit Cleveland Guardians starter Aaron Civale hard. Civale has had a very inconsistent career so far, and he is not as good as his 3.08 ERA would suggest. The Rangers are also 22-14 as a home favorite, while the Guardians are 10-15 as a road underdog. This means that the Rangers are more likely to win this game than the Guardians. Rangers starter Andrew Heaney has also had some struggles recently, but I think he can rebound nicely after the All-Star break. The Guardians have a below-average offense, so this is a good matchup for Heaney. I would take the Rangers on the money line at -180. If you want to take a risk, you could also take the Rangers at -1.5 at +120. I also like the over 8.5 runs as both Williams and Heaney can struggle at times and get lit up early, which would allow the over to cash relatively easily. Meanwhile, this Rangers offense is arguably the best in baseball, and against a rookie starter, I do expect Texas's offense to be able to hit Williams well. As well, Texas is 47-36-8 in hitting the over and at home is 26-13-6, which is the best home over record in the majors. Cleveland, meanwhile, is the worst over team in the majors, but at only 8.5 runs, this is a good spot as I think Texas can get 7 or 8 runs on their own, which means they will only need a run or 2 for Cleveland. Take the over 8.5.